Welcome to the Ashenborne Archive. This record is preserved. Begin. Audio Codex Entry 12. The Threadborne, Silkbound Swamp. The Silkbound Swamp lies deep within the drowned interior of Dreadmire, an endless swamp of southeastern AshenReach, a drowned expanse of black water, dead reeds, sinking villages, and ancient things moving unseen beneath the fog. No roads lead there willingly. The swamp itself changes too often for maps to remain accurate. Entire waterways vanish beneath webbing overnight. Mangroves collapse beneath the weight of silk. Ferrymen speak of pale threads drifting across the water like fishing lines suspended in the dark. And somewhere within that drowned maze, the Threadborne endure. The Threadborne are not beasts. They are a kingdom. Across the flooded swamps of Silkbound, countless species of arachnids live beneath an ancient hierarchy older than most surviving realms of AshenReach. Tiny web spinners labor endlessly within the reeds, while marsh hunters stalk silently across the black water. Pale widow oracles dwell within hanging nests deep in the fog, reading vibrations in the web as prophecy. Massive ferrybacks, tarantulas broad enough to carry entire caravans upon their armored backs, move slowly through the mire beneath hanging lanterns and silk cargo. Then there are the mire fangs, enormous hunting spiders the size of horses. Black-eyed predators capable of vanishing completely beneath shallow water before erupting upward in silence. Entire ferries have disappeared to them without a scream ever reaching shore. Every Threadborne knows its station. Every web serves a purpose. And above them all sits the patriarch of the drowned kingdom itself, the Tarantula King. At the center of Silkbound stands a crumbling castle half swallowed by the swamp. Once, it may have belonged to some forgotten noble lineage of AshenReach. Now, its towers lean crooked beneath colossal webs stretched between the battlements like funeral cloth. The lower halls have long since flooded. Black water fills the courtyards. Entire banquet chambers lie submerged beneath drifting silk and skeletal remains. Chandeliers hang cocooned overhead, while swamp insects gather around ancient candlelight, still burning in distant windows for reasons no traveler has ever understood. The Threadborne transformed the ruin into a throne, and within its flooded vaults rests the treasure of the swamp. Every relic ever taken from those foolish enough to enter Silkbound. Lanterns, crowns, gold, weapons, prayer beads, jewels. Entire ferries wrapped in silk and suspended from collapsed ceilings like insects awaiting consumption. The swamp keeps everything, especially the dead. But sometimes their belongings reappear weeks later along distant shores tangled in pale thread. Warnings from the kingdom. The Threadborne do not hunt from cruelty. They hunt because the swamp must feed. And somewhere within the deepest chamber of the castle, beneath hanging silk thick as curtains, the Tarantula King waits upon his throne. The patriarch spider is older than many kingdoms still standing within AshenReach. Massive beyond reason, his body is adorned with crowns, bones, gemstones, and relic chains gathered across centuries of drowned travelers and forgotten wars. Some claim the king no longer moves at all, that he merely waits within the webbed dark while the kingdom obeys his will. But eventually, another traveler enters Silkbound, not a ferryman, not a pilgrim, the Ashenborne Knight. Rumors had spread throughout Dreadmire of a relic hidden within the fang of the Tarantula King itself, a relic worth crossing the drowned webways for. The knight entered Silkbound alone. Threadborne hunters followed silently through the reeds,
while enormous shapes moved beneath the water beside him. Webbing stretched endlessly overhead between dead cypress trees, thick enough to blot out the moonlight entirely. Yet the kingdom did not attack. Not immediately. It was as though the swamp itself watched him pass. Deeper and deeper, the knight traveled until at last he reached the drowned castle rising from the mire like the corpse of some ancient empire. Inside, the halls of the Threadborne kingdom trembled with movement. Thousands of pale eyes reflected within the dark. Silk drifted through flooded corridors, and at the center of the throne hall, the Tarantula King finally stirred. The stories never agree on what happened within that chamber. Some say the knight battled the king for hours beneath collapsing webs and candlelight. Others claim the patriarch simply offered one of his massive fangs willingly, as though recognizing something ancient within the knight himself. But when the Ashenborne Knight finally emerged from Silkbound, a colossal black fang rested across his back beside the Darkhammer, and behind him, the Threadborne watched silently from within the fog. The kingdom remained. The swamp endured. And somewhere, deep within the drowned castle of Silkbound, the Tarantula King still waits upon his throne.
The world of AshenReach also exists as a physical trading card game through collectible Ashenborne Archive relic cards and booster packs. The archivist has authorized a restricted offering for listeners of the Codex. For a limited time, listeners may receive an additional sealed booster pack through the sigil phrase, Codex. To claim the offering, add 2 single booster packs to your cart at AshenborneArchive.com. Then enter the phrase, Codex, at checkout. Ordering instructions and all archive links may be found within the show notes. The excavation continues. The archive's presence endures across the outer channels. Seek the social archives listed in the show notes for visual lore fragments, trading card offerings, and continued dispatches from AshenReach. Follow if you would continue to travel the realm of the Ashenborne Knight, or remain on the outskirts of AshenReach and be forgotten by the archive.